On the desolate planet of Arethia, a seasoned smuggler, Tomás, stumbles upon Nila, a blue-skinned alien whose existence challenges the oppressive Galactic Corporation. Their lives explode into a fierce struggle for survival and love, forcing them to confront deep loyalties and ethical dilemmas. In a fight that transcends worlds, who decides what makes life worth saving? Don't forget to subscribe. 91% of viewers enjoy our content but forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with our daily sci-fi stories and support a dedicated team of storytellers and content creators who rely on this as their livelihood. The cold winds of Arethia howled like ghostly whispers through the abandoned station, a mournful tune that echoed between twisted metal and fractured glass. Tomás, a seasoned smuggler with tousled black hair and rugged features carved from years of outsmarting the underbelly of the galaxy, adjusted the controls of his ship, the Estrella Viajera. Beneath his rough exterior, there was a heart still capable of feeling alive, pulsing with a mixture of anticipation and unease for what lay ahead. This was supposed to be a routine mission, but intuition had a way of sparking alarms that rattled the calm facade he tried to maintain. The station loomed large against the twilight sky, bathed in a dimly lit haze that seemed to cling to the remnants of a once thriving outpost now devoured by the steady grip of time. Crumbling walls and rusted machinery sagged under the weight of neglect. Each step he took on the desolate surface felt weighed down by a palpable sense of abandonment, as if the wreckage whispered resentful tales of despair to anyone who dared to listen. As Tomás wandered through the darkened hallways, his breath visible in the icy atmosphere, a soft whimper sliced through the suffocating silence like a stolen secret being exposed. Curiosity ignited, pulling him deeper into the shadows. "Hello? Is anyone there?" he called, his voice barely more than a shiver against the darkness. He moved forward with caution, his instincts heightened, alert to any sign of movement. Turning a corner, he froze, his breath catching in his throat. There stood Nila, a striking alien woman whose skin shimmered like the ocean beneath the glow of a silver moon. She was breathtaking, her tall, slender frame exuded an ethereal grace, and her long, flowing hair glinted with hues of deep blue and indigo, almost luminescent in the dim light. Yet it was her vivid violet eyes that captivated him, brimming with desperation and fear. Her belly, round with impending life, hinted at the urgency of her plight. "Please, help me," she gasped, glancing over her shoulder as if shadows themselves could consume her. "What do you mean?" Tomás asked, his brow furrowing as he felt the weight of her plea seep into his marrow. He was no stranger to danger, faced it regularly navigating the undercurrents of galactic politics, but something about her terrified expression stung deeper than he expected. "The Galactic Corporation, they're coming for me and my children," she whispered, every word dripping with terror. The mention of the corporation sent a shiver down Tomás's spine. The entity was infamous for its ruthless extraction of resources and more nefarious pursuits, yet he never imagined they would seek something so deeply human, life itself. "What makes you so important to them?" Tomás probed, trying to steady his racing heart, the gears of his cautious mind working furiously. "They seek to exploit my children's gifts," Nila replied, tears carving trails through the remnants of her fierce composure. "They are extraordinary, able to bend minds and see futures." A chill raced along his spine as Tomás clenched his jaw, the implications of her words echoing in his mind with an unsettling clarity. "I'm just a smuggler." As the distant rumble settled into a foreboding silence, the ground stood still for a heartbeat under Tomás and Nila's frantic movements. With urgency brewing in the air, Tomás assessed their surroundings. Old machinery lay in ruins, remnants of a long-abandoned facility that spoke of the forgotten hopes of a once thriving community. Flickering overhead lights cast eerie shadows that danced on the metallic walls, illuminating Nila's vulnerable yet ethereal figure, a stark contrast to the cold environment engulfing them. "Where's the nearest exit?" Tomás asked, his voice gruff but laced with concern as he stepped closer to Nila. He noticed a glimmer of her blue skin under the dull light, a shimmering reminder of the fragility of life. "There's a maintenance hatch we can squeeze through. This way," she replied, her gaze darting toward a tattered map pinned to the wall. The fabric of her outfit rippled as she pointed, revealing intricate patterns etched into the alien material. Intrigued, he wondered about the meaning behind those designs, a thread of culture intertwined with her very being. The moment they began to move, waves of dread washed over Tomás. He was no stranger to peril. The constant threat of violence had been as much a part of his life as the engine hum of his ship. But this was different. The stakes had escalated to something far more profound. Innocent lives hung in the balance. What sort of danger is Nila's plight? With every thought, he felt an unseen thread pulling him deeper into a tapestry of choices that could irrevocably alter his fate. "Why do they want you?" he pressed as they sprinted down a corridor that twisted and turned like a living organism, each junction offering new shadows and echoing whispers of discontent. "They seek to exploit my children's gifts," Nila answered, her voice trembling. Her gaze focused straight ahead, reflecting not only fear but also a resolve strengthened by maternal instinct. "They are extraordinary, able to bend minds and see futures." Confusion clouded Tomás's mind as he leaned against a rusted wall, catching his breath. "What do you mean? Are they telepathic?" The term felt insufficient given the gravity of the reality she was suggesting. "Yes," she affirmed solemnly, desperation tinged with pride in her voice. "My children will inherit abilities that could change the course of the galaxy." She stopped abruptly, her expression morphing from fear to an intense gaze filled with an urgency he had never seen before. "But the Galactic Corporation intends to harvest that power, turning sentience into a tool of war." Tomás's heart raced, a cocktail of dread and intrigue swirling within him. "That's monstrous. But why me? I'm merely a smuggler trying to get by." The question hung between them, heavy with implication. "Because you have a choice, Tomás," Nila replied, a strange serenity enveloping her words. "A choice they do not have. If you help them, you become part of something greater than yourself. A family bound not merely by blood, but by a shared destiny." Fingers trembling, he understood the weight of her words. The isolation that had been his companion now seemed a flimsy rationale against the potential of family, of legacy. "All right," he replied, determination coursing through him. "I'll help you, but we need to be quick." With her heart pounding in rhythm with the footsteps echoing through the desolate halls, Nila grasped his hand, their fingers intertwining and in spoken agreement. The firmness of his grip sent an electrifying buzz through her, anchoring her in the moment. They turned and sprinted down the sweeping metallic corridor, leaving behind an echo drenched with despair. Suddenly, a flash of fluorescent light illuminated the space in front of them, a sign of a patrol. Tomás pulled Nila back into the shadows just before they could be seen, pressing her against the cold, rusted wall. He inhaled deeply, concentrating on the clangor of his heartbeat while attempting to stifle any sound that could betray their position. "What now?" Nila whispered, her eyes wide as they locked onto his. Tomás scanned the area, thinking on his feet. If we can find a way to create a distraction. His mind raced. It would require some seriousness of intent, perhaps even an unrehearsed bravado. "Stay close to me." As the guards neared, he reached for an old piece of debris, a discarded energy cell. It was dangerous, but it might work. He ripped a wire from the cell, sparking a flicker of hope in his own heart. "On my count, I'll throw this just behind them. Run when I do." Be careful, Tomás, Nila murmured, fear once again threading itself into her voice. 3, 2, 1. He hurled the energy cell with every ounce of strength, watching it land with a thud that echoed through the stillness. The sound ricocheted off the walls, startling the patrol. With the guards distracted, Tomás seized the instant. Now, they bolted down a different corridor, adrenaline propelling them forward as they wheeled past dusty junctions and corroded machinery that seemed to hiss warnings of their intrusion. Each step brought the shadow of danger closer, but it also sparked something unnameable inside him, a nascent courage intertwined with the relentless pull of responsibility. We're almost there, Nila urged, her breathless voice lending him strength. They maneuvered through dank, narrow passages until they arrived at a metal door, aged yet sturdy. Tomás pressed his palm against it, finding a release mechanism. I hope this works, he muttered, his fingers trembling again with anticipation. With a gentle hiss, the door groaned open, revealing an expansive maintenance deck. Glowing control panels blinked with eldritch data, and the faint hum of engines reverberated through the air. This was their moment, a brief sanctuary amid chaos. As they slipped inside, Nila looked into his eyes, softer now, filled with gratitude. Thank you, Tomás. You don't know what you're doing for us. Right now, I'm just trying to survive, he replied, masking the budding warmth in his chest with a facade of levity. Yet, as they caught their breaths, he could feel the gravity of her words settling firmly on his conscious mind. He was no longer just a smuggler, he was trapped in a tangled web of choices that could redefine his existence. Here, Nila said, this time her expression shifting to focused urgency. She gestured towards a control panel at the far end of the bay. I can reach out to my children. They're frightened, but I can help guide them, show them we're safe. Tomás nodded, though a doubt flickered within him. The air grew heavy and thick within the hidden chamber, the sense of danger looming just beyond the tattered walls. Tomás leaned against the cold metal of a rusted console, taking a moment to absorb the implications of their situation. Nila faced him, her violet eyes reflecting both fear and incredible resolve. If they find us, there's no escape, she whispered, the weight of her vulnerability palpable. Outside, the ominous sounds of booted footsteps echoed, reverberating through the corridors like a tempest. Tomás caught a glimpse of the shadows flitting past the doorway. The Galactic Corporation's agents, relentless and ruthless, were closing in. The tension between him and Nila simmered beneath the surface, a mix of urgency, fear, and an unexpected kinship that seemed to transcend the depths of their initial encounter. Let's get moving, he urged, breaking the silence. They pressed deeper into the chamber, every heartbeat echoing like an alarm. With the flick of a switch, Tomás illuminated the room, revealing ancient markings etched into the walls, symbols pulsating with an ethereal glow that hinted at long-forgotten wisdom. Nila stepped closer, her fingertips brushing against the surface of the markings as if recognizing them on a primal level. These are my people's sigils. They tell stories of our ancestors, of love, struggle, and sacrifice. There was a reverence in her voice, a connection to her roots that momentarily distracted her from the immediate danger. Tomás watched as the markings glowed brighter with her touch, fascinated. Are you saying these could help us? He questioned, his brow furrowing. They can strengthen my connection to the children, she replied, determination flooding her expression. But I need you to trust me, Tomás. Whatever happens, stay close. Without a moment's hesitation, he nodded. I'm with you. He hadn't known her long, yet a tether had formed between them, an invisible connection that was rapidly intertwining their fates. Nila took a deep breath, channeling her energy toward the symbols, and the air crackled with luminescent power. The vibrations surged around her, practically singing with the resonance of her people. She closed her eyes, her expression serene yet intense, and Tomás could feel the air shift subtly as a strange energy enveloped them both. Suddenly, Nila's body jerked lightly. She fell into a trance, an otherworldly calm taking over. "I can feel them," she murmured, her voice mingling with the flickering light. "They are with me. I can reach them." Images flooded Tomás' consciousness. The twins swirled within Nila, their essence intertwining with hers like threads of a tapestry. He saw flashes of shimmering landscapes, the planet lush and vibrant, bathed in impossible hues that made his heart race. It was a world he had never known but could sense in his very bones. A world filled with potential, danger, and unity. "Your children," Tomás began, his voice a mere whisper, "they're extraordinary." "Indeed, they are," she replied, her eyes snapping open, glowing fiercely with newfound vigor. "If I can guide them, help them harness their abilities, we can fight back." As Nila delved deeper into her connection, the vivid images transformed into a tempest of color and sensation that swirled around them, igniting a profound bond. Tomás found himself swept away in the beauty of her vision, a collective understanding blossoming between them. He glimpsed futures filled with hope and harrowing loss. Possibilities danced before him like distant stars. "What do you see?" he asked, unable to pull his gaze from her radiant form. Nila's voice became a melody of certainty and affection. "A family, our family. A union that will create a new world." Her words were laced with warmth, and in that moment, a surge of protectiveness unfurled within Tomás. Together they were more than individuals, they were a force destined to challenge oppression. Suddenly, the vibrations around them shifted ominously. Breaking through the moment of clarity, the urgency of their reality crashed back like a storm. "We need to hurry," he insisted, his heart pounding. A flicker of doubt crossed Nila's face, displacing their bond with dread. They dashed through the winding passages, every step echoing a countdown to their impending confrontation. Tomás could almost taste the metallic tang of fear in the air. They had to reach the exit before the agents found them. No more detours. No second chances. As they rounded a corner, an explosion rocked the corridors behind them. The ground quaked, sending debris tumbling from the ceilings. Tomás barely managed to brace Nila, pulling her away from the cascade of metal that threatened to swallow them. "Keep moving," he shouted, adrenaline coursing through every fiber of his being. They barreled forward, the echoes of chaos following like specters. Suddenly, the corridor expanded into a vast hangar, a forgotten hold of the outpost, dotted with rusted ships that had long since been abandoned. Dull lights flickered overhead, casting an eerie glow across the room. "Look," Nila pointed, her voice filled with urgency. A small shuttle rested in the corner, partly submerged in shadows. "We can use that," Tomás nodded, but as they made their way toward it, a shadowy figure emerged from the gloom. The lead agent, a tall man with sharp, angular features and glacial blue eyes that glinted like blades. "There you are," he sneered, taking a predatory step forward. "You think you can escape? Not if we can help it," Tomás growled, instinctively stepping in front of Nila, protectiveness surging through him like wildfire. Nila's eyes shone with determination as she stepped beside him, speaking words that cut through the tension like lightning. "You underestimate us. We are not mere prey." The agent chuckled, a low, menacing sound. "You think your powers can protect you? You're just a smuggler and a rogue. Look around, there is no one to help you." "Maybe," Tomás replied, feeling something click within him, "but you won't take her without a fight." In a heartbeat, Nila raised her hands, and the air hummed with electricity. Tendrils of energy unfurled from her fingertips, illuminating the hangar with luminous hues. The agent's expression faltered for a moment, uncertainty crossing his features as he faced their combined vigor. The battle was imminent. The air thickened with tension as they braced themselves against the looming threat. "You can't fight what you don't understand," he hissed. His glacial stare hardened, but it was clear even he felt the shift as a crackle of fear danced across the dimly lit hangar. The air crackled with tension as Tomás and Nila navigated the sprawling metallic corridors of the Galactic Corporation's headquarters. Every step they took was a reminder that the clock was ticking. The relentless pursuit of Solara and her agents felt imminent. The stark, sterile walls loomed over them, illuminated by harsh, flickering lights that cast jittery shadows which danced like specters along the floor, amplifying their unease. Tomás grasped Nila's hand, feeling her pulse quicken under his touch, and steeled himself for the battle ahead. "They see us as threats. But they don't yet understand," Nila murmured, her voice steady despite the chaos swirling in the air. It was a reassurance that grounded him, filling him with an unexpected strength. "Let's make sure they remember who they're dealing with," Tomás replied, a fierce determination igniting in his heart. As they approached the central command room, the entrance was flanked by imposing guards clad in black exosuits that shimmered ominously, reflecting the dim orangish glow of the overhead lights. These were no ordinary soldiers. Their armor integrated advanced shielding technology and energy weapons, replacing flesh and blood with cold, unyielding metal. It felt like stepping into the maw of a great beast. "We'll need a diversion," Nila said, her eyes narrowing as she assessed the situation. "I can create an opening if you can distract them." "What do you have in mind?" Tomás asked, scanning the environment for possibilities. His mind raced as he formulated a plan. "Trust me," she replied, a faint smile gracing her lips, which gave him a glimmer of hope amidst the uncertainty. Nila focused, channeling her energy toward the guards, tapping into the unseen connection she felt with her unborn children. Tomás could see her aura begin to shimmer, crackling with ethereal electricity. He watched in awe as her skin pulsed with shades of cerulean, radiating a light that felt warm, almost alive. With a commanding shout, Tomás burst forward, catching the guard's attention. "Hey, over here!" He brandished a blaster, the muzzle flaring as he fired a warning shot into the air. The sound echoed through the metallic expanse, drawing the guards' gaze with their unwavering, mechanical instincts. While they turned to face him, Nila took her chance. Energy erupted from her hands, transforming into a brilliant wave that surged toward the guards. As if caught in a storm, the wave crashed into them, causing a ripple effect that momentarily disoriented the guards. The shields flickered as the aliens' mere presence sparked a power surge, leaving gaps in their defenses. "Now, Tomás." Nila's voice rang clear above the chaos. He raced forward, barreling through the stunned guards, his heart pounding with adrenaline. The alarms started blaring, a piercing wail that cut through the air. It was a frenzy of red lights, bathing the corridor in a garish hue, but he knew they had only moments before reinforcements arrived. Despite the chaos, he felt a surge of pride. This was more than survival. It was a fight for their freedom, a fight for Nila's children yet to be born. He felt inexplicably bound to her, as if their fates were interwoven against the backdrop of the universe. Sprinting past the incapacitated guards, they entered the command room, its expansive width and height creating a stark contrast to the narrow confines they had just passed through. The walls were adorned with screens that flickered with data, impossibly advanced technology showcasing maps of Arethia and beyond, projections of the corporation's plans unfurling like a tapestry reeking of corruption. At the far end, perched on a sleek obsidian throne, was Solara, her presence suffused with an air of commanding authority. A veil of shadows clung to her figure, accentuating her lithe form draped in silver fabric that shimmered like starlight. Her stark white hair cascaded down her shoulders, framing her sharp features, eyes fierce and unyielding. "You think you can deceive me? You're a fool, smuggler." Solara spat, her voice cool as ice. "You cannot hide her from me. I will reclaim what is mine." Nila stepped beside Tomás, a fierce determination glowing in her expressive violet eyes. "You may see it as a treasure, but she is not an object. My children are not yours to exploit." Solara's lips curled into a malicious smile. "What are they, then? Children with extraordinary gifts? I will harness their potential to bend the universe to my will." "You are misguided if you think they will save you." Tomás felt the weight of her words, the enmity crackling like lightning between them. He stepped forward, emboldened, and squared his shoulders. "You're wrong, Solara. We won't let you hurt them. This is where your reign ends." "Bold words from a man who does not understand the forces at play," she replied, her voice dripping with condescension. "You are standing in the presence of power." "Power?" Nila interjected, anger mixing with her otherworldly calm. "What you wield is power through fear, and fear does not create, it destroys." For a split second, hesitation flickered in Solara's eyes. And that was the opening they needed. Nila stepped forward, closing her eyes, summoning every ounce of energy that connected her to her children. Tomás could see the energy swirling around them, bridging the gap between their fates. It flickered like stars coming to life in the dark void of space. With an almost tangible force, she projected her will forward, unveiling the potential of her children captured within her. Tomás watched as brilliant lights emanated from her, weaving together the essence of love, hope, and unity. The air grew thick with energy, pulsating around them as visions swept through the command room, images of flourishing herds on Arethia, colonies living in harmony, the light of family overcoming the shadows of greed. Solara faltered, confusion flashing across her features as these visions infiltrated her mind. Rage and doubt battled for dominance in her heart, a storm swirling within her. "No, you cannot," she shouted, reverting to her original intent, but Tomás felt the tide turning. "Change is possible," Nila said, her voice steady and certain amidst the cacophony of emotions. "Join us, and we can bring light to humanity." But Solara, emboldened by something deeper than greed, seemed about to strike back. The chaos of their ideals clashed with the might of her ambition. Then, without warning, the ground quaked. Metal screeched as a blast ricocheted through the structure, sending debris crashing against the walls, interrupting the standoff. With the final confrontation behind them, a palpable peace settled over the desolate landscape of Arethia, much like the warm, golden light of dawn after a tempest. Tomás and Nila stood among the ruins of the Galactic Corporation's oppressive stronghold, remnants of turbulence swirling in their memories. However, in that moment, they became architects of their own destiny, an undeniable bond strengthened through adversity. The battlefield was not only a backdrop of survival, it was a crucible that shaped their love anew. Tomás gazed at Nila, his heart swelling with emotions that had been forged in the fires of their fight. The once turbulent alien landscape transformed into a lush canvas of colors, reflecting the fervent energy of a freshly born hope. "We've created a family that is stronger than any force we've faced," he declared, his voice trembling with the weight of his promise as he looked deep into Nila's radiant eyes, framed by cascading strands of her iridescent hair. Nila smiled softly, her gaze drifting to her belly, which swelled beautifully with life. "And our journey is just beginning," she replied, a warmth enveloping her words as she felt the gentle kicks from within, a prelude to the twirling joys of motherhood, tinged with the bittersweet memories of their struggles. As if summoned by their shared commitment, an eclectic group of survivors began to emerge from the shadows, former captives of the Galactic Corporation, souls who had also yearned for liberation. Together they gathered, blending voices into a celebration, converting past agony into harmony. The sun set on the horizon, illuminating faces that shone with hope, laughter, and camaraderie once believed lost. Together, we can create a sanctuary, one of the refugees suggested, his tone filled with determination. A place where we can nurture our children away from the tyranny of corporations. A world that nurtures rather than exploits. Tomás nodded. It's time to rebuild. We can cultivate this land, plant seeds of unity, not just for our children, but for generations to come. He felt invigorated by the essence of possibilities swirling around him, and suddenly the desolation of Arethia began to dance with dreams of resplendent futures. They deliberated into the night under the expansive sky, a tapestry of stars shimmering above, each gleaming speck a witness to their resilience and courage. They spoke of hope, and as visions of diverse blossoms sprouted in their minds, the group committed to nurturing these seedlings of community. Let's gather resources, trade technologies, Nila proposed, her violet eyes sparkling with excitement. With your people's skills and our gifts, we can develop a flourishing society that transcends mere survival. A fire crackled, sending embers spiraling upwards, defying gravity, echoing the defiance that they'd shown against the corporation. We can establish a market for the rarities of Arethia, someone else chimed in, and tap into the traditions of our cultures to create something truly unique. They brainstormed, filling the air with laughter and passion, turning their interconnected dreams into reality. Nila took Tomás's hand under the light of the stars, feeling a rhythmic thrum between them, a silent promise sculpted from love and shared purpose. Later that evening, as dusk slowly melted into twilight, Nila and Tomás found a quiet moment by the ancient well that had been miraculously preserved amidst the carnage. The cool breeze rustled through the vines overhead, and a gentle glow enveloped them, igniting a fire of newfound vulnerability. What if all of this? What if we can't protect them? Tomás voiced quietly, his brow creased with concern. The thought weighed heavily upon him, a remnant of his past filled with daring escapades and ruthless struggles. Nila turned to him, her eyes brimming with warmth, a warmth that sought to dissipate his shadows. We've survived the darkest of nights, Tomás. There's a strength in being vulnerable, in acknowledging our fears. Together, we can carve a path even in the unknown. Love binds us, and it will guide our way. Her words felt like a balm to his soul, soothing the raw edges left by confrontation. Leaning into her, Tomás took a deep breath, letting the scent of wild alien flora cleanse him of doubt. With you, I feel like we can face the universe, he whispered, as their foreheads touched, sealing their shared essence in that fleeting moment. Days turned into weeks, and the community began to flourish like a tapestry woven with threads of hope and courage. They collaborated with artisans, creating farms teeming with vibrant, unusual crops. They planted gardens where fruits gleamed like jewels in the sun, and laughter resounded among the children. A symphony of innocence amidst the unrelenting cosmos. Together, they devised a school where knowledge flowed freely. Tomás often found himself telling stories at the twilight gatherings, integrating both laughter and lessons from the journeys they had endured. Never forget, he would say, gazing into the curious eyes of the children, that you are the inheritors of this new realm. A realm forged from sacrifice and love. Days morphed into months, peace unfurling like the tendrils of the new life blooming around them. They established themselves not just as survivors, but as pioneers, a model of unity that reverberated across the galaxy, inspiring others still shackled by the remnants of tyranny. Whispers of their triumph reached distant worlds, and a sense of foreboding that once loomed over Arethia faded. Yet, within the quiet solitude of what their lives had become, a stillness filled Tomás with uncertainty. Challenges tailored by the cosmos awaited them, echoing a gentle reminder that even peace must guard against the shadows seeking to unravel it. One starlit evening, silhouetted beneath the auroras that dance upon Arethia's horizon, Tomás and Nila sat stargazing. "Do you think they'll ever come back for us?" he asked, ghosting the air with paranoia. The thought of raking open old wounds haunted him. A silence enveloped them, thick with the weight of his words. After a moment, Nila touched his arm softly, dragging his gaze toward the constellation patterns above them, radiant and ancient. "Perhaps, but if they do, then we'll face them together. We've weathered storms that would leave most shattered, and we've emerged stronger, haven't we?" He nodded slowly, contemplating her wisdom. "Together," he echoed, realizing that the essence of unity was forged through every moment, mundane or extraordinary. Together. In that moment, beneath the cosmic tapestry, Tomás understood. A bond like theirs could transcend time and space, carving a destiny brighter than any star. Hope lingered among them, whispering promises of new adventures, echoing with the understanding that love, in its purest form, cradled the essence of strength. As dawn broke over Arethia, painting the land in hues of hope and renewal, Tomás and Nila prepared to greet what lay ahead. They stood hand in hand, a radiant symbol of resilience, a reflection of every soul they nurtured and the love that bound them. What awaited them out there in the stars was yet to be discovered, but the strength of their bond would guide them through whatever dark universes dared to challenge their newfound world. They looked toward the infinite expanse, knowing their story was only just beginning, a narrative laden with adventure, love, and the unquenchable thirst for exploration. Through every star above, their journey echoed a profound truth. Love could prevail, even in the bleakest corners of existence. A testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity and the extraordinary potential that blossomed in unity. And as they took their first steps into that horizon of uncertainty, they carried not only the hopes and dreams for themselves but for a universe ready to remember their names. A legacy born from struggle, nurtured by love, and strengthened through faith. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.